it's Rana, and today I have a layout for Mix It Up Monday, where we use some mixed media and a sketch. This sketch is from Christine Harden. I'm also using 3 of my favorite photos for 52 weeks of favorite photos. And I'm also using the product focus for the Rediscover Your Stash group this month. That was a little sneak peek of my layout. I have pulled out the Echo Park Yankee, I forgot the name of this. It's going to show us in a minute. There's my photos. These are favorite photos because I believe Yankee Doodle, I think that is what it's called. I do believe that those were the last photos that my daughter took of her and her grandma, Yankee Doodle, while she was still at home. They were there after the Memorial Day, but I don't believe there's any more pictures like this. So those were the last ones, and so I really wanted to get those on a page. I'm going to start out by doing some circles, and I've done this technique before with Distress Oxide and some other watercolors, and I liked the result better than what I did with this. I don't know if it's because it's the Distress ink, or maybe I forgot what I was doing and I did it different last time. I don't know. But anyway, and maybe just because I'm using watercolor paper, and before I had used cardstock. But anyway, I didn't like it quite as much as I had before, but it worked, and I ended up, I was kind of thinking that I might just cut it out, but I ended up using a die and just using it for the color because the color was perfect. So it just didn't turn out as pretty as what some that I've done in the past have been. So that's okay. It worked out, and I still liked it. It was fine. And I had a little fun playing around with the mixed media. Now this paper, if you looked at the sketch, Christine had a really cool notebook edge on this base paper. And I found this in one of my Vicki Boutin paper pads. I think it was Art for Everyone, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. I want to use that on for this sketch. So hers may have been a little bit smaller, but because it's, already designed the way it was, I'm going to go ahead and use it like it is, and I think it worked out fine. I liked the Yankee Doodle. I just got this, and honestly, I'll tell you a little secret. I bought this whole collection, well, just the paper pack, but I bought the whole paper pack just because it had red, white, and blue chickens, and those will definitely be on some pages because Grayson always takes pictures with a chicken on the 4th of July. I don't know why. It's just he's been doing that for the last several years, and it's funny, and so we will have those again for this year. So I needed some red, white, and blue chickens, of course. So this is kind of basically the design that she has there, and then there are the 3 circles. So while I'm waiting for my watercolor to dry on that watercolor paper, I'm just going to try and make some other decisions. I set it aside and left for a little bit, and then I'm coming back in. I'm using these dies, and I think maybe this is the first time I've used these. And I really liked how they looked, and I thought they kind of had a neat 4th of July look. So I'm going to cut 2 smaller circles and 1 large circle. And it just worked out that one kind of bled farther and bled, using red. That kind of sounds bad, I guess. But anyway, it spread out farther because I added water first, thinking that might give me the look that I was going for. And in the end, I do like it, and it is the right color. So here's where she had the 3 circles in the sketch, and I really like that. And I'm kind of trying to decide on what my cool title is going to be, which was, you know, specifically, it had to be a cool title up there in that top larger circle. So I came up with Home of the Brave, and I'm just going to use one of the stickers from the sticker sheet because I tend to leave those and never use them. So I decided I'm going to get one on this page right now and first page using this collection. And I feel pretty good about getting one used. So I had an idea to use this blue, and this blue is a little bit brighter, but I wanted the subdued colors of this collection for these pictures because they just looked better than with some of the brighter stuff, but I still wanted a little bit of a brighter blue mixed in. And there's several blues in the collection, like the background is kind of a darker blue, and then there's more of a grayish blue in the little florals. And so I wanted this other color in here, and I love this. Wait till you see this reveal. Isn't that so pretty? I love how the Distress Oxide worked right over top of the Distress ink. And I did the stenciling first, then added the circle over top of it, and then lined it up with the stencil in the same place so that the stars would carry through. But if you just have your circle on there, especially with something as thick as what this watercolor paper is, it's just going to leave a little halo around it, and it doesn't look good. So I decided to go ahead and do the stenciling first and then lay the or go ahead and adhere my circle on there, and that worked perfectly. So if you ever are trying to have something that goes off of it, but your paper is too thick, that's an idea for you to go ahead and do the stenciling first and then line it up with your whatever you're adding in over top. So I just added a little bit of mixed media. I didn't go crazy. I did have the watercolor circles there, and then this little bit of stenciling, and I'm going to do some splatters, and that's all I'm going to have for mixed media today. I could have, if this hadn't worked with the blending the oxide over it, I probably would have done some texture paste, but when I tried this, I knew it was going to work, and I really love how it turned out. So I'm also going to take the photo mats that I cut, and I just barely put any adhesive on it because I knew I wanted to color these blue, and that way it's not just in the stenciling, it's in another place as well, and it makes it look very intentional. And that's kind of my go-to if I'm adding a color that's not really part of the collection but it kind of is, or whatever. If you just add it in several places, you end up with, you know, a look that is more cohesive, and it looks intentional that you're adding a color in. So I'm going to add my splatters here and then set that aside to dry, get it all cleaned up. I did not add any foam adhesive behind the photos, but I am going to add some foam behind a few of my embellishments just to give a little lift so that everything isn't completely flat. So the title there, Home of the Brave, that's going to be lifted up on fun foam, which is what I normally use for pictures. And so that worked there. And then I'm going to use some of the fussy cut images. I did not fussy cut these on camera, but they came out of one of the sheets of paper that was from this collection. And then I'm also going to pull a sticker that's the same floral. I liked the ones that were in the paper because there was a good variety, and there wasn't going to be enough of the florals on the sticker sheet, so I knew I was going to want to add a few more. But I do end up doing fun foam also behind that sticker. So I have the sticker with the title in it on the top right. Then I'm going to do this big floral here, and then I'm going to add in my third cluster, there's going to be a couple of florals that are fussy cut, and then I'm going to add a sticker bow so that there's a sticker in each of the three red circles there. And of course I'm going to add more foam tape behind these. I'm going to fiddle around with this for a minute, so I'll go ahead and tell you that Mix It Up Monday is a hop that Tara O'Rourke does on her Facebook group, The Paper Snob. That Facebook group is a great place to check out these different things. You do not have to have a YouTube channel to play along. Anybody can play along. There is always a playlist so that everybody who does have YouTube videos can add their video. But there's also an album in the Facebook group, so you can add your layouts there, and you can get lots of inspiration there and join in the fun. There is also a playlist for 52 weeks of 52 favorite photos, and that's just one long playlist that has everyone's from the whole year so far. So that's exciting because there's lots of inspiration there. And then also the Rediscover Your Stash product focus this month is Flair or wax seals. And so you can mix and match, use either or, and just add your layouts or projects, whatever you're doing, cards or layouts, and just add them to the album for this month's product focus. So that little sticker is off of a Simple Story stick, and a really old one, by the way, sticker sheet, and it says Land of the Free because of the Brave. And you can see in the photos there, they had stopped at the gravesite for my mother-in-law's husband, my father-in-law, and he's buried in a military hospital. He's buried in a military cemetery, and so they stopped by there just to visit the gravesite. On Memorial Day, they always have the little flags out and everything, and so that's a stop on the way to where Grandma Shirley lives. So they always do that, and we always do that when we go as well. So I'm coming in here with some little finishing touches. I added some little colorful stars in reds and blues, and then I'm also going to add in some hearts. You saw me with the Flair, and I think I showed you how I had flattened the Flair. MK from MK, oh my goodness, MK Gun always does that on her channel, and I have tried it a few times, and I do like how it looks. And for this layout, because I didn't raise my photos up or anything, I felt like the Flair needed to be flat, so I did go ahead and do that. So there's these are super old from Doodlebug, and just little epoxy hearts and just some dots, enamel dots, epoxy dots, whatever you want to call them. And get those placed where I want them, and I kind of fuss around a little bit. And then I'm going to do my slow down and show you, and then realize that I forgot to put Memorial Day on here, which I wanted. I mean, I'm kind of considering Home of the Brave as my title, but Memorial Day 2024 is also a title, and I have it right where she in the sketch had put to add journaling, and I was just going to leave the journaling part to Mariah right under that Memorial Day. But I'm going to slow this down and show you that, and then I will come back in one more time and add the title, and that will be it. So definitely check out all of the playlists. There's going to be a lot of different mixed media, I'm sure. I always do the minimum on the mixed media side. I'm not the mixed media artist that some of these ladies are. I do enjoy it. I just don't have the time to do as much as I'd like to. I used to follow along quite a bit with Vicki Booten and do, some of the fun things that she did. And I do still enjoy it. I just don't have time right now to make a whole mixed media background or anything. So I like playing with the paper anyway, and that's fine. I have lots of paper to use up. So these are older Felicity Jane letters, and I'm not going to glue them on screen, but because they are puffy letters, they all have to have a little glue underneath. I know they're not going to stick forever, So I do use the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and go back in and add some glue. I just, like I said, I did that off screen. And all of the little enamel dots and hearts and things like that also have to have glue underneath of them. And that's it. I'm so glad that you joined me today. Definitely take the time to leave a comment if you have any questions or comments about this. I would love it if you have not already subscribed to click that button as well. I am really excited about reaching 1,000 subscribers. I hope to be there by the end of this year. So if you are have joined me a few times and would like to subscribe, I would absolutely appreciate that so much. We'd love to have you here. And again, any comments, I will get back to you as soon as I can. I appreciate all of the questions and comments, suggestions for other videos, any of those kind of things. I read everyone, and I definitely will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot, and we will see you again later this week. Bye-bye.